let's get into the Mercenary. I mean, Witchhunter in particular was kinda, already known because of all of the footage on the videos that we got, on interviews, on LA presentations, stuff like that. So yeah, but we're gonna talk about it anyhow. A lot of different situations. I do kinda like this kind of split on the passive tree. It does give you a lot of different options in general. Let's get into the 1 and 8 that they are solo one. So Weapon Master, 20 passive skill points become weapon skill weapon set skill points. So the weapon set skill points are the ones that you can use for your weapon swaps, right? So basically are the interchangeable passive skill points that you can have different things for the waps, right? For the weapons. Now this in the previous information we had was granting 20 passive skill points, 20 passive weapon skill points, but it was probably wrong information. Now we have the correct one from GG. So become 20 of your skill points, they become weapon set skill points, which means basically 20 of your static passive points, they can be interchanged on your weapon swap. Now, personally, I don't really, I'm not a huge fan of that. Weapon swapping could be very powerful and there could be some really insane combos that you could do. It is also a little bit more of a clunky playstyle, but if weapon swapping becomes, let's say the meta, or if there's something busted that you could do, those passive points could allow you to do it a lot easier. So it could be build enabling, or it could be kind of useless, right? This is what I'm getting there. So we're gonna have to find out. Now the 8 ones here, Zealous Inquisition, this is just explode, 10% chance for enemies you kill to explode, deal 100% of the maximum life as physical damage. Chance is doubled for undead and demons. So this is of course an explode effect, more clear, and it is pretty damn amazing. I don't think we had 100% over the maximum life explode before. This is absolutely insane. If you haven't seen the footage of the Mercenary from Ziggy D, he has a very nice video. I do suggest you go see that if you are interested in the Mercenary. Those explodes actually have very large radius as well. So holy shit, holy, I absolutely love them. I absolutely love them. For a mapping ability, for a mapping character, there is nothing better than having these kind of explosions, especially with big radius, and you can boost it even further from the passive tree. So yeah, it is a lot. It is a lot. Yeah, the small ones, they do have a little bit of increased AoE and some other things. I can't remember, but yeah. Do we lose the spirit when we swap out of scepters? Yes. Yes. Currently, you will be losing the minions as well. Yes, Graham. They do want to, they are preparing some kind of interface so that you can actually set up when you're doing your weapon swap exactly what's happening. Like let's say that you're losing 30 spirit, which aura gets deactivated, which minion gets deactivated and stuff like that, right? Yeah, I don't know the reasoning behind, undead and demons, but yeah. Oh yeah, they are going in depth. It's just some UI interface that is not ready yet. They're working on it right now. Jonathan was talking about it in which interview? Oh, I cannot remember. There have been so many interviews, but yeah, he has talked about it. That I think with Gazi, yeah, it was with Gazi and Darth on the Time Talk. Like they were talking about that they want to give us an interface for weapon swap because of that situation exactly. Like you can use your main weapon and then swap into a Spirit Scepter. What happens when you're swapping out, especially for a minion build, for example, or something like that, which minions they get deleted. You need to have some kind of player agency there, and they're gonna give us that. Let's keep going here. Yeah, let's do column by column. All of those have some kind of synergy between them, basically. So let's do 6 and 7 first, which is the defensive stuff. 6 is Obsessive Ritual, Grand Skill, Sorcery Ward, and we are getting 50% less armor and evasion rating. The Sorcery Ward passively manifests a protective barrier which takes elemental damage from hits only for you until depleted. The barrier instantly recharges to its full value a short time after it stops taking damage or is fully depleted. So basically when it's depleted, it recharges instantly to its full value after a few seconds. I think it's gonna be like 3 or 4 seconds, something like that. We already know that, and by the way, the amount of the elemental barrier that you're getting is 30% of your armor and evasion rating. Is it the highest one? We do have that, right? There you go. Sorcery Ward is 30% of your armor and evasion rating. So yeah, it's both. It's both. You do get a 50% less bonus here, armor and evasion rating. You're probably gonna be building, I wanna say armor, but I'm not sure. Probably gonna be building a little bit of both. But to make this work, you do need a fair amount of it. And the note on top here is a synergistic one, Ceremonial Ablution, 50% increased effect of Sorcery Ward, so better protection barrier and 50% faster recovery as well. Sorcery Ward is basically the equivalent of the barrier that the Elementalist is getting for PoE 1. Definitely a very nice defensive layer if you want elemental mitigation. If Ceremonial Ablution is gonna be kind of a must-have to make this worth, I don't think this is gonna be a very good option because spending 4 points here seems a little bit of a heavy investment that you probably don't wanna do. Okay, let's go for this part here now. We have Pitiless Killer and Judge, Jury and Executioner. Pitiless Killer is just Calling Strike. Calling Strike hits kill normal enemies if their life is at 30% or below, magic enemies at 20%, rares at 10% and unique at 5%. These thresholds are checked before the damage of the hit is applied. I think it speaks in itself. They are changing Calling Strike from PoE 1, which is really nice. So it makes it a lot more viable, right? It makes it a lot more viable for mapping. Like it is actually useful killing magic enemies at 20% if you're not one-shotting them, right? So yeah, it gets a little bit more value during mapping. Before it was kinda useless. Judge, Jury and Execution, we are getting the Decimating Strike, which is something that I really like. Hits against full life enemies remove between 5 and 30% of life before the damage of the hit applied. I am kinda underlining this part over here, before the damage of the hit applied. That means that this kind of damage is not gonna be applying, any huge ignites or poisons. Don't dream of any of that. It is still a very powerful effect, especially for bossing, but even for mapping, your first hit basically on full life enemies is a huge one, removing a huge chunk of your life. of their life, and keep in mind that this is an average of 17, we said the other day, right? Yes, 17.5% is average hit of the decimated strike, and also because you do go through Calendar Strike, that means for bosses you are already on average doing 22.5% of their damage just by being on the fight, right? So very, very strong bossing capability out of this kind of setup. It could be fun for mapping as well, but we need to test it. We need to see how tanky the monsters are gonna be during mapping and stuff like that. Maybe when we start juicing, this is gonna be a good mapping setup as well with the Explodey on top of that. But yeah, we'll see, we'll see. Okay, the most complicated part of the Mercenary Witchhunter, if we could say that, is the 4-5 here, Witchbane and No Mercy. Witchbane enemies have maximum concentration equal to 40% of their maximum life. Break enemy concentration on hit equal to 100% of damage dealt. Enemies regain 10% of concentration every second if they haven't lost concentration in the past 5 seconds. No Mercy is just straight up 30% up to 30% more damage to enemies based on their missing concentration. Now we do have what kind of things concentration does here on the tooltip. Enemies have less cooldown recovery rate the lower the concentration, scaling down to 50% less cooldown recovery rate when concentration is 0. I talked about this I think yesterday when we got the explanation. So cooldown recovery rate on bosses is very important. Reducing it up to 50% less is absolutely massive. But here's the thing. Which bossing setup do you like best? Pitiless Killer and Judgurian Executioner, or the concentration stuff? So you kinda need to choose here based on your playstyle, I would say, based on your build, what kind of skills you are using and stuff like that. So yeah, when it comes to combinations for the Witchhunter, is a little bit tough to make some decisions here. But for my first one, I was talking about Weapon Master when it was 20 passive weapon skills extra. It is not the case, so I'm definitely not suggesting Weapon Master as your first ascent points for sure. I would just go Zealous Inquisition, get the Explodey, and once again, I've seen how big the AoE can get from Ziggy's video, and it is massive. It is massive for explosions, and it is also 100% of the maximum life as physical damage. So when you have a pack of monsters that they all have the same life, if you proc it on one, all of them, they're gonna die. So it's absolutely insane, man. I believe that this is probably gonna get nerfed. This 100% is just a little bit too strong, but right now this is what we're getting in early access. Take advantage of it. There is merit of going Witchbane early on, right? If you have a little bit of lower single target, you haven't get used to the playstyle of the Mercenary, so maybe you can go Witchbane so that you get a little bit access to the less cooldown recovery rate and feel a little bit safer against bosses. I would definitely not go Sorcery Ward early on though, because with this kind of penalty with the 50% less armor evasion, this shield is gonna be very very small to actually be worth it. As a total of 4 passive combinations, I would say probably like Pitiless Killer and Judgurian Executioner with the Explodey and either Witchbane or Obsessive Rituals, like one of the two. I would say as the last one, the No Mercy would be really nice to get, but this is not a very static buff, so I would just prefer getting those two over here with the Calendar Strike and the Decimated Strike and be done with it. I feel like those are still gonna be fantastic for bossing, concentration, for bossing as well, and probably some rares, I don't know. But yeah, and yeah, I feel like those two exploding, and one of the two. If you feel like that you can get good value out of Sorcery Word, you can go that, and if you don't, you just go Witchbane. On the other hand, you can use Sorcery Word for mapping and swap into Witchbane for when you're doing bossing, right? So there is always this kind of flexibility, especially with their respec right now being only gold. I think you need to play with your Ascendancy points a little bit more than in the past. They're not as static anymore. Based on what kind of content you are doing, make a couple of changes here and there, and be a little bit more flexible, right? Okay, let's move to Gemling Legionnaire, and this is actually one of my favorite Ascendancies because of all the different possibilities that we have here, and I'm already setting up a goal for myself to make some type of end game high investment build with this Ascendancy for sure. Now, let's get started. This is probably the Ascendancy that if I could take all 8 points, I would 100% take them, and I would pay a very high price for it. In most Ascendancies, I don't really mind skipping a few of them, but for this, they're all super valuable, so decision making on this Ascendancy is definitely very important. I'm always saying that Gemling Legionnaire is probably a little bit more catered towards end game, and very high probability of giving us incredible end game high investment builds in general. I'm not recommending it as a league starter personally. I would definitely say out of the two, go Witchhunter if you want a league starter Mercenary one. But let's get into and see. We're gonna start, yeah, let's do them in actually in order here for a change. Crystalline Potential plus 10% quality to all of skills. Wasn't that 15? It was 15, right? Yeah, it's already nerfed. It's already nerfed. Everything that I'm highlighting the last few days, it's already getting nerfed in every Ascendancy after GG revealed them. So yeah, you can see that there are some powerful things that they're afraid of. Okay, Implanted Gems +1 to level of all skills. That is of course very powerful in itself. It's boosting everything that you're doing. And of course we are moving a little bit downwards, but like getting the extra additional skill slots could very much mean that you're getting extra value out of that as well. Advanced Thaumaturgy up here, 30% less cost of skills. Skill gems have 30% more attribute requirements. This is not gonna be a problem, right? Skill slot I will explain in a second. So this the attribute requirements is not really a big problem, right? Because of some other things that you can do with the adaptive capability here. But the 30% less cost of skills is extremely valuable, especially if you are doing some type of proccing a lot of skills through meta gems and all of that. They're gonna be costing you a lot of mana, and you're not, a Sorc or anything like that, that you're gonna have access to a lot of mana regen in general. So reducing the cost skill could lead you to be able to do a lot more combos, keep proccing a lot more spells, and yeah, do a lot of good things. Also, you can use a lot more expensive spells on your procs and not care about extra supports and stuff like that are increasing your mana cost. So yeah, definitely a very powerful effect. We're gonna have to see how valuable it's gonna be, of course. Integrating efficiency here grants 3 additional skill slots, and yeah, as you're asking what that means, so basically each character has the list of your skill slots, and it's basically one for each of your equipment, right? So we have like I can't remember the number, like 7 or 8, whatever it is, right? So basically you're getting one skill slot for your gloves, for your boots, for your body armor, for your helmet, and I think 2 for weapons. Like you're getting like 7 skill slots, if I'm not mistaken, 7 or 8, whatever the number it is. This one gives you another 3, right? So it's basically 3 more 6 links available to you. If you can utilize them, it's gonna be fantastic. It's gonna be fantastic, right? Number 5, gem started here. You can use 2 copies of the same support gem in different skills up here. Now this was a huge surprise to me. I did not expect to get an effect like that, because one of the main things with the new support gems, and why we have so many support gems as well, why they designed so many of them, is that we can only use one support gem, each support gem one time only in our skill list, right? You cannot utilize it twice on different kind of skills and stuff like that. It is not allowed. With this, it is allowed. So yeah, this could lead into some interesting builds for sure. I like the possibility. I'm not sure how valuable it would be, but I mean, we all know that there are some support gems that they are giving us a lot of, high multipliers on damage, or build-ups on freeze stance, etc, etc, etc. And maybe with gem started you could just basically replicating a lot of setups for different skills and utilize them all very offensively. It is definitely a possibility there. We're gonna have to find out. The one that everybody is excited once, and it is also already fucking nerfed. Thaumaturgical Infusion, +1 maximum cold resistance per 4 blue support gems. This was per 3. And maximum fire res per 4 red support gems. Maximum line res per 4 green support gems. This was per 3. All of them values. It was nerfed, honestly. This was one of the most powerful passives that we had in the Ascendancies, and I'm not that surprised that it's already nerfed. This is why I've been talking about this Ascendancy being a late game one, because you need to slot all of your support gems to get a good amount of value out of that, right? So early on, getting your resistances from like 75% to 77%, it's not really huge, right? During the acts of the campaign, yeah, it helps a little bit with your medication, but it's not really huge. You want all of them, and that means that you need, first of all of your skills to have maximum support slots unlocked, which comes later down the line. You need a lot of items, to a lot of jewelry orbs to make them fully support gems, 5 support gems for each skill. So yeah, this is taking value later down the line. It is amazing, don't get me wrong. Getting all of that is gonna be fantastic, and we're gonna do a little bit of math in just a second. So I'm gonna talk about adaptive capability here right now. Attribute requirements of jets can be satisfied by your highest attribute. This is why this is not an issue here from the thaumaturgy, because whatever is your highest attribute is definitely gonna cover whatever the support gem requirements are. Just to explain a little bit how the attribute requirements work for PoE2. Basically, on the on our skill list, right, with all of our skill slots, and that we can add our skills and then add our support gems. On top, there is a panel that says attribute, strength, intelligence, and dexterity requirements. And what happens is when you are slotting, let's say a blue support gem, right? This is gonna increase by 5. if you slot another blue support gem, it's gonna increase by another 5. So basically, when you slot 10 blue support gems, you're gonna require to have 50 intelligence so that you can actually use them, right? To actually slot them, you need to have that requirement, right? So what happens is especially on an ascendancy like that you're also gaining the extra skill slots, right? So I'm gonna assume the base number is 7. I think I'm right about that, but it doesn't really matter. Plus 3 additional skill slots. We have 5 support gems for each, right? So you can use up to 50 support gems here, and if you also have items that grant you extra skills, you may be even able to get extra support gems, right? So that means that if you have out of 50, 20 of them are blue, that means that you need 100 intelligence, right? And also that means that you're gonna be getting plus 5 maximum cold resistance as well. But like 100 intelligence, and if 20 of them are green, you're gonna need 100 dexterity. If the rest 10 are actually red, you're gonna need 50 strength, right? So basically this is how the attribute requirement works in PoE2 with the for the skill gems and the support gems, right? I cannot remember if the skill gems themselves have extra requirements as well. Might be the case, but no matter what, this is how the system works, right? Basically, each gem you are adding based on the color is adding extra requirements on that, which means that you need you need a little bit better balance on your attributes in general for your characters. With adaptive capability, you only need, let's say, 350 dexterity. That's easy to get, that's easy to focus, you only get that, right? If you want your build, you might be doing, let's say, an intelligence stacker for whatever, because you found some good build for intelligence stacker. If you hit like 400 intelligence, then this will satisfy all of your gem requirements, okay? I'm hoping I'm explaining that perfectly. Enhanced effectiveness, inherited bonus from intelligence, strength, and dexterity are doubled. I'm gonna be honest, out of all of them, this feels a little bit weird. It does make sense because you do have, attribute capabilities on this Ascendancy. Now, the inherited bonuses, dexterity gives us accuracy. I don't think that would be amazing for a mercenary, but maybe some accuracy stacker could be a thing, because we do have some synergy on the passive tree. Basically, some of the nodes, the old Juggernaut one from PoE1 is on the passive tree now, and some other bonuses there. We'll see. Of course, the intelligence ones is probably a fantastic one because it gives us increased ES. So maybe there is a world we can do some type of CI and intelligence stacker and get that one, get insane energy shield, and don't care about that a lot on our passive tree, so we can focus on other things. It's a possibility, just saying. Strength, of course, gives you a fair amount of hit points, so it could be good, but this is only, I would say, for any attribute stacker. It's not just something that you slap on a build, right? Now, if my calculations were correct as well, and we do have 7 skill slots, even with the 3 additional skill slots, right, we are getting 50 support gems. That means that we cannot really boost a lot of maximum resistances, right, from this nerf. So this is instantly a lot less valuable than it was before. It's still good, but definitely less valuable. Now, here's the thing. Because we don't know the uniques, if there are uniques, that support having the same maximum elemental resistances as your maximum one, etc., etc., melding like we have in PoE1, we don't know the uniques right now for PoE2, right? like uniques like that could give an incredible amount of value on Thaumaturgical Infusion and be very, very good. But based on the already nerfed one, this one does lose a little bit of value that I was talking about the other day. Gem Studded could be a very strong one for a build, especially if you are doing some kind of trigger with the meta gems and you are proccing several different spells, but they can take advantage of the same support gems for a lot more damage. Like this could be something that you could use that. Definitely up there. Again, most of those are kinda niche, right? You need to build around those Ascendancy passives. It's not like, oh, you know what, take that free power and be done with it. They have some kind of synergistic things that you need to do between your gear, between your build, your skills, everything like that. That's why I'm saying this is not really a league start in Ascendancy. It's something that you build later on. Of course, some experienced players might take Gemling Legionnaire and thrive as a league starter one. I just don't see it right now personally, and I would say there are probably better options out there. Again, just my opinion here, right? Implanted gems and the quality, we don't really know what the quality of the skills does. Like, we haven't been given this kind of information. We're gonna figure it out very, very fast during the early access, of course, the first couple of days. But this is already nerfed, man. From 15% down to 10. So I don't know how good this could be. Again, it's one of those things, if we can get extra quality on our skills based on, some unique items, stuff like that, it could be really good. But I don't know. And it's also required to get either implanted gems or advanced thaumaturgy. So it remains to be seen, right? The value of this Ascendancy could be out of the stratosphere for endgame. It could be pretty bad early game. Make your peace with it, and I'm hoping you are going to find some good builds with it though.